Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and love that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another fine Victory Monday edition, well, for some of us, of Ken and Ken in the morning. Good morning. Good morning, Ken. Good to see you.
Oh, good morning. Oh, yeah. Even after all that choking in the playoffs.
Broski, how you doing?
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
You know, I was going to say it might be a little chilly, depending on where you are. Actually, it's a little chilly here.
I was going to say, it's warm as fucking Cancun. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's where you guys are, but we're still in the frozen tundra of football. My God, what a weekend of playoff games.
Certainly was. Well, actually, it's not over yet, though, right? We got the old Steel crew tonight. Jeez. Yeah, but these.
Go ahead, Broski.
No, I was going to say, yeah, but these games over the weekend, man. I guess the game last night wasn't the greatest. I mean, I only watched till halftime, but all the other games, man, wow, came down to the end.
Yeah, after halftime, that game kind of fell apart a little bit for the Chargers. It's not that the Patriots were that good. It was just that the Chargers were that inept. I think, yes.
Yeah.
The Patriots defense played really good, actually.
Yeah.
But offensively, they weren't all that. And it was just like, they were opportunistic, but just like the Chargers, that was the only game where like one of the teams felt like, what I'm saying? Like, the Chargers just couldn't do anything offensively. Their defense held out as long as they could, but it was just like, that game was the most boring of all the games for sure.
Yeah, they remind me of the Tampa Bay Bucks of the AFC this year. However, they did get into the playoffs, but a team with a lot of hype going into the year. And honestly, man, they got ravaged by injuries. So that did help hold them back. But yeah, man. I'm ready for the divisional round, man. That's for sure. Caught up on sleep, by the way, too. I finally caught up on sleep.
There you go.
So we'll start off with the Rams game. The Rams-Panthers game was funny because Rams were double-digit favorites. There's a joke. And that game, I thought Carolina was going to pull it off for a moment there.
So did I. I was going to say, I was watching the game with my buddy there that's the big Carolina fan. And we're sitting there thinking the whole way, holy shit, they're going to pull this upset off. And Bryce Young freaking throws that interception at the end. Like, dude, really? Like, granted, he's taking steps forward, but man, does that
that's like
for Panthers.
Trevor Lawrence pick at the end of the Bills game. I mean, that was another one where the young hot stud quarterback, if you will. And look, Lawrence had a pretty good game overall, but Josh Allen did Josh Allen thing, brought him down, and it gave him time. Gave Lawrence time, and Lawrence says, here's the ball. I mean, it wasn't a bad throw. The defense made a good play on it, so it wasn't like it was all on Lawrence. His receiver might have possibly should have done more. But, another really good game that ended with a not-so-great pick. That was a great game, though. And, Jacksonville almost – look, I picked Jacksonville in this – I picked them both at different points of the week, to be honest. Because that was such a close game. And the thing that, originally I picked the Bills originally. And I said, well, you know what, though? Like, the Jaguars, like, they're that team that that no one's talked about, but they've been just like beating good football teams and playing good football. And they come into this game with the Bills, and they played a good football game. I mean, the NTN muffed kick sucked for them for sure, but they overcame that. I mean, that's the thing. They're a good football team. They overcame some mistakes. They made Josh Allen give them everything he could possibly give them, and then some. That was a great game for Buffalo. I mean, it was for both teams. That was a great. I mean, look at all the playoff games. You guys are right. All the playoff games except for the Frozen Joe. I got a Frozen Joe in the bottom corner. All the football games except the New England game were like, oh, there he is. We're just like, wow, what great games.
Yeah, I was
Absolutely.
going to say most of these games were freaking awesome.
And
Even the New England and Chargers game, while it wasn't anywhere near as entertaining, at least for a while, it was a good back and forth.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out to a player on Jacksonville who's been totally under the radar. Definitely had a kind of a breakout season this year. Kid had all the talent in the world in college, had a lot of injury issues, but is actually like, pretty T's like favorite target now. Parker Washington, 6th-round pick out of Penn State, man. He's turning into the player I thought he could be. They also have another Penn Stater, Brenton Strange, who's their starting tight end, who unfortunately did have his share of injuries this year, but has a ton of talent. So,
You notice the trend with Broski. They're Penn Staters.
you got to shout him out from time to time. But yeah.
And I mean, we know obviously we got to talk about the Iceman cometh.
We got to
But-
talk about the LaFleur collapse.
I want
But look,
to, before we get into that, I just want to throw out there that I think if you're the Carolina Panthers, you have to be excited about the direction that your franchise is heading.
and
Like
Jacksonville.
you took, Jacksonville too, but for Carolina, from how bad they were last year to this year, and you're going to have a draft and free agency to try to improve your team further. Like you took the Rams, who are right now, they're Super Bowl favorites down to the wire, dude.
Yep.
And you beat them in the regular season, like one of very few teams that actually did. So you got to be excited about your future if you're the Panthers,
Well, I mean, with the Panthers game, that's where our next target is obviously the Rams. They're coming to Chicago. Look, completely winnable game for Chicago. I mean, the Panthers proved that there's no one in this tournament that I don't think the Bears can't beat at this point. Put it that way, because no one's coming out there and just crushing people. Like the Rams had to fight Carolina tooth and nail, a team that got in because another team beat another team on the final day of the week of the season. I mean, the NFL is like that. All these teams are beatable. Look how the Eagles played yesterday. The defending Super Bowl champs, they're out. San Francisco without Kittle going to Seattle for a rematch.
Dude.
I think they have a good chance to win.
Yeah. They were without Teflon Ricky Purcell also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Purdy threw 2 picks. That's the thing that shocked me is that the Eagles won the turnover battle and still lost the game.
Yeah.
Usually that
another
does not happen.
I mean, and look, that's a divisional game. That's a divisional game in the divisional round. Go figure. Hey, the NFC West will at least get one team to the NFC championship. Okay. But I mean, that's a divisional game. I mean, anything can happen with that game. Kittle, no Kittle, it doesn't matter. San Francisco's got a shot, and I don't know how far Fred Warner is, but he keeps saying he's ready to go. He's ready to go, but obviously not. But who knows what kind of little boost of energy San Francisco gets between now and then. I mean, and look at the Eagles are what we thought the Eagles were. Their defense was still pretty solid. It's just offensively a hot mess. A hot mess. AJ Brown had a 1 or 2 he should have had. Then I guess he leaves the locker room without talking to the media after the game. Okay, cool. Is Sirianni gone? I don't know. Is Tomlinson going to be gone, as Jay is alluding to in his comment? I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens tonight. And look at Ken wants, and a lot of Packer fans want Matt LaFleur gone, which I get and I don't get.
Yeah.
Well, what it is we've constantly seen the same issues coming back again and again. It's that you'll get this lead in the first half of the game, and then the third quarter, you absolutely disappear because your play calling becomes so predictable. As a fan, you can literally sit there and call out which play's coming on which down. If a fan can see that, what do you think a defensive coordinator is seeing? They're licking their chops at something like that. And
Yeah,
that
but I mean,
that's a
defense,
major reason why we had the I think that's a major reason why the defense had such a letdown in the fourth quarter is because we had 3 3-and-outs back to back in the third quarter there to where the defense was on the field for damn near that entire quarter. No wonder they started
Yeah.
giving shit up.
Yeah, I mean, you essentially almost had 4 like 3-and-outs. I mean, it was like 3 3-and-outs and like a 5-and-out, and or whatever 6-and-out. But yeah, but Ken, I wanted to just comment something really quickly about the Rams Panthers, if you don't mind, before we get too far past.
Yep.
So one thing I wanted to point out is, or 2 things actually. Panthers, they have a lot of good building blocks, man. Canales, I think, actually is a solid young coach. Him and Ejaro Evero, the defensive coordinator, are both 44 years old, so relatively young. But yeah, so it was 75 degrees in Charlotte when they played. It's not going to be 75 degrees when they play Chicago. It'll probably be more like 25 degrees. And then second, Ejaro Evero's contract is up. They did not extend him, so there's a good chance he's finding a new team. And he's rumored to get some head coaching looks also. So the Panthers will have to look to possibly replace him and find a new DC. So just wanted to kind of put that stuff out there before we dove into the
and one
Bears
of those teams that actually asked to interview Ejaro for the head coach position is the Raiders.
It's funny with Broski. He's like your wife. I got one thing. Oh wait, let me add some more things to the trip.
Oh, hey, we gotta spend others' money. Is that what you're saying, Ken?
Yeah, something like that. For their time, yeah. No, my wife does it. Hey, we're just gonna go do this one thing. Like, okay, I'll go. And then we're on the way to do that. Oh, by the way,
yeah, I
we're gonna
mean,
go these 5 other places now.
it's tough when you're a wealth of knowledge to just keep it all contained. You got to let it out, man. You got to.
I hear you there, broski. I hear you fucking there.
Hey, so that if we're getting into the Packers Bears game, I just wanted to point out something that I thought the Bears in the second half did a really good job of adjusting to the Packers run game, because Jacobs had 5 carries for like 50 yards in the first half, and in the second half he had 12 carries for 5 yards. Like, I don't know what they did. I wasn't, I had a lot of shit going on. I didn't get to watch the games as closely as I wanted to, but I watched that one pretty well. But the Bears did a good job in that aspect.
One major adjustment, Joe, that a lot of people didn't catch on, but Brisker, while he played in that game, he did not start the game. They didn't really use Brisker much until the second half. They used him a little bit in the first, but then he played most of the second. Yes, he was being targeted. Yes, he's still injured. But yes, he made an impact in terms of like doing stuff like on the run game and stuff like that. That was one of the changes they made.
Another
Booker, I think Booker just is starting to find his stride. Like, Sweat got a game ball, but honestly, Booker was the unsung hero for me because he helped create that stuff for Sweat, and he closed a lot of lanes down. So I mean, Booker is showing why Foles traded back into the draft 2 years ago to use the 5th to get him in the 5th round. And when he came out, everyone that all the little gurus and that on NFL and everything said, look, this Booker kid's shooting himself in the foot. He'd be a 1st or 2nd round pick next year if he stayed another year in college. But because he's coming out, the Bears will draft him in the 5th. We'll see what happens. Well, the guy's gotten bigger. He's grown. He's developed. And now he's looking like a guy you would have drafted in the 1st or 2nd round last year. I think that was another piece of it. You could go to like LaFleur being, predictable, like Ken alluded to as well.
Every 1st and 10, it was a halfback draw from the shotgun. Literally, every single 1st and 10.
But to be fair, though, Ken, like I almost think like this is the Bears rope-a-dope, because here, look at a couple weeks ago, whoever had the play call on Fox, it's like when the Bears go in at halftime and they're down, and you're beating them by a touchdown or so, the Bears are thinking, "Yep, got them just where we want them. And here's, and we laugh about that, right? But tactically, think about this for a minute. You're going in at halftime, you're up. You're like, okay, what adjustments can I really make? I don't know. What we're doing is working. So I don't know how to adjust because what I'm doing is working. So how do I adjust? And they get to make adjustments, right? Now you come out and like, look, on 1st and 10, this has been working. Roll with it. All of a sudden, crap, it's not working. Now some teams, and maybe this is why LaFleur needs to go, will say, oh, crap, they made an adjustment. We need to make another adjustment on the fly. Some teams aren't good at making that adjustment on the fly. And the Bears have caught more people more times than not good at making that adjustment on the fly. That's why while it's funny and we joke about, ha, 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 we're losing at halftime, we've got you right where we want you. But tactically, when you think about it, a lot of these teams are not good at adjusting like that on the fly.
Well, they also have the tactical advantage of when Green Bay went into that at halftime, LaFleur said, holy fuck, the game's over. I can stop coaching right now.
Well, there's that. I mean, and look at you guys. Look at the 4th and 10 play to Rome. Now now what they're calling the Air Caleb. I don't know if you guys have seen the memes with the jump. It looks like the Air Jordan poster, right? I mean, dude, you had Caleb dead to rights. That game should have been over right there. Caleb makes a phenomenal play, crossbody in the air, dime to Roma Doomsday. And it's like everyone's like, everyone's jaw collectively probably hit the ground on that throw.
Yeah, that was incredible. Man, and then it's also too. Let's not forget DeMarco Jackson coming into that game for TJ Edwards. Man, he gave that team that defense a boost. Man, he really did.
So I wouldn't say I love how Packer fans in their little underhanded way of saying, you didn't beat us. Like, well, we choked, dude. We beat you because you still had.
Definitely choked.
Hold on, because Caleb still had to make freaking out of this world kind of plays here and there to beat you. So it's not like, oh, we choked. The Bears didn't do anything. No, dude. We had to have our star players make some incredible freaking plays in order to beat you in your supposed choke. You got outplayed.
It's not a supposed choke. That's a clear and obvious choke that every other fan base is even talking about. How bad you choked that away.
I think, but
I am not. Yeah, I'm not taking away.
Can be true.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm not taking away what Chicago Bears did because they went out and they did what they needed to do. And Green Bay at any point could have made multiple things to stop that, and they did not. They had that game won pretty much the whole way through.
Ken, hold on one second. Put a pin in that. Hey, Dorn, that fluky lucky season with the bust of a quarterback just beat you for the second time this year and sent your ass packing to Cancun.
So yeah, dude, like I think that both things can simultaneously be true, right? The Packers definitely took their foot off the gas when they should have put their foot on the Bears' throats, but I think
they weren't able to.
They weren't able to because of the adjustments, and Caleb, for whatever reason, dude, like when he finally switches on, like he's showing that he's that dude. Like,
oh yeah, because he looked terrible in that first half. That second half, he looked outstanding.
My point is I think we've kind of like, I know Bears fans are like, yes, finally we got a quarterback. Caleb is the dude, but the rest of the league kind of has been like, okay, yeah, they've had some good comebacks and stuff, but I think after that game, like you kind of have to, if the rest of the league kind of has to take notice, like, okay, no, there really is something there with this dude. This guy is fucking clutch, man.
Hey,
and Ken, last time I checked, Caleb has as many playoff wins as Jordash Love, and he has more division championships than Jordash Love.
Hey, but one other thing I wanted to say was like I think that this changes the Bears and Packers dynamic right now. Like, because the Packers have been coming off that 10 win fucking streak that they had, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, I don't know if you guys have a little brother, but it's like you beat up on your little brother for a long time, and then all of a sudden one day he's tougher and he beats your ass one time, right? Like he gets the better of you one time, and it's like you're not afraid of him going forward because you've kicked his ass so many times, but now you got to respect him, and you're like, okay, like now I know this guy can actually kick my ass if I'm not on my A game. I think that dynamic has now taken place here.
And
The Packers
we started to see it last year. Caleb is now 3-2 lifetime against the Packers. He
Yeah,
owns a winning
and
record against the Packers, and Ben Johnson in 1 year is 2-1 against the Packers. So
but I
guess
wanted
he
to
really
point
does
it
get
out.
to beat Matt LaFleur twice a year.
I wanted to point it out because of what Javon Bullard said, like he was like, "Oh, they didn't beat us. It was us. They didn't do anything special." Like
Oh,
this and that.
I get what he's saying, but you can't say they didn't do anything special. They
Right,
did
and-
shit special.
Yeah,
and,
it's
but that's what
football,
I'm
man.
saying is like that's what I'm saying though is like I don't know if Javon Bullard is speaking for the rest of the team or just himself, but if he is speaking for the rest of the team, if that's really how they feel, their attitude needs to change because the Bears
Well-
just showed you that they're not
Yeah.
only your equals,
Well,
they might be
Joe,
better than you right now.
You know what the great thing about Bullard being an idiot post game like that, and there's no other way to put that when a player does that. Like, dude, be a little more gracious in a loss, right? That's bulletin board material for this Bears team coming in next year. Oh, look, Green Bay, even though we beat them twice last year and kicked them out of the playoffs,
They still don't
still
respect
think
us.
we suck. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, you know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say your head coach though gave us beautiful bulletin board material because after that game he had to be a sore winner. Fuck the Packers! Fuck the
They're in the
Packers! I
locker
fucking
room.
hate the Packers. He
Well, I mean,
knew
they-
that was shit was being recorded.
Well, they all do, but I mean, you're in the locker room. It's not like you went out in the media and said it. That's what
Yeah.
they, at the end of the game. I mean, look, I expect Matt LaFleur to do the same thing when we guys beat the Bears. In fact, I'm sure they do.
For as
Yo-
much trash talk as the Packers fans have given Bears fans over the years, yeah, don't cry about that, Ken. Don't cry.
I was just gonna ask you, Ken. Like, are you really outraged at that?
Yeah.
Like, come
No,
on,
no,
dude.
no,
We're talking
I'm
about like the
come on.
I'm
oldest
saying-
rivalry in
I'm
the
saying
league.
it gives you now bulletin board material. It puts that little extra
Yeah.
sprinkle on it.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
well,
that's
whatever
nothing
you
compared to what
need,
Bullard did.
whatever the Packers
Yeah.
need, whatever they need, like use it, man. But like, if the Chiefs, if the Raiders and the Chiefs were in the same position, like they're not now, but they have been in the past, right? If the Chiefs beat us and they're saying fuck the Raiders, I'm not
Look,
shocked.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
Like that,
it's
like,
it's
I would
like-
not be.
it's the
I
oldest
look at-
rivalry in football, man. There's going to be shit talk.
Yeah.
And what about all these halftime, all the shit talk Packers fans were doing at halftime on social media and stuff? Come on, man.
wait,
Like,
there's a
here's the
huge
thing,
difference
I
between fans
expect
and the
the
coach.
head coach of your biggest rival when they beat you to say, "Yeah, fuck those guys," fuck the Packers or fuck the Bears. If you're Matt LaFleur, you expect that. But what this knucklehead player does, he goes, "Oh, they didn't do anything special to beat us. They're not that good." Like, that's more bulletin board than the opposing team's head coach said, "Yeah, fuck those guys. We don't like them anyways." You expect that out of the oldest rivalry in football or any
Yeah.
division rivalry for that matter.
I mean, I'll actually say the Bears hustled them. It's like, all right, we'll spot you 18. We're just going to drop 25 in the fourth quarter. You got fucking hustled, son.
They
But-
said, "Man, we want to look absolutely terrible the first half."
Yep.
That's
you
what
We
we
want to make
wanted
it close.
to
We got to
Hey,
make
you
it at
remember
least
that? You remember
entertaining,
that
right?
episode? You remember that episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air where Will got hustled at pool, and then
Yep.
Uncle Phil
Uncle-
shows up, and
Uncle
he's like,
Phil.
Jeffrey, break out Lucille. All of a
Yep.
sudden, he's got his own pool cue, and he
Yep.
just
Oh,
starts
that
running.
is-
the
Joe,
table.
that was one of the
Wasn't
best
it-
episodes, man.
I
Hell
love
yeah.
it. No, but the handshake, it wasn't an embrace. It was just a quick, like,
I have
high five.
zero
Like,
issue with the
whatever.
handshake.
Yeah.
Like
Zero.
neither of these guys
That-
like each other.
But
I
Joe,
was
you-
gonna say, if you sat there and watched the show that I did yesterday, I said that I'm all for that type of shit. I'm cool with the head coaches hating each other. That handshake, that's more than fine in my book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Hey,
Good
Joe, you
morning.
brought up streaks, right? You brought up streaks, and it's like, so last year the Packers ended on a 3-game losing streak. This year they end on a 5-game losing streak. I mean, that's trending in the wrong direction, if you ask me.
That's why a lot of fans want LaFleur gone.
Mhm.
wait, this just in. Matt LaFleur fired in Green Bay and hired in Detroit as the new OC.
Yeah,
Yeah, God, I hope not.
you couldn't ask for a better OC.
Okay.
Jay, why is it when John Dorn speaks, or why when John Dorn speaks, so I think it's the prediction of the exact opposite will happen?
Because it usually does happen.
Hey, but I just want to say, I for one am happy to see like the little brother. For the last few years, the little brother actually beat up the big brother, because like now we're gonna get the rivalry that we deserve, right? Like we know that Caleb is legit. We know that Jordan Love is legit. it's going to be a great duel with these guys for the next 10 years, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
and one thing I liked about the game, so even when the Bears were getting smoked, like Caleb was showing emotion, but I think he was channeling it correctly. Like he was looping in the coaches and the players and getting them both together on the sideline and going through things with the coaches and the players and actually showing some real leadership. And I think Rob, Packer fan Rob, mentioned this.
Yep.
Like Jordan Love, like, dude, what the hell is his problem? He just sits on the bench by himself, doesn't interact with anybody. Like,
He's not the
That's my
$55 million man they thought. I cannot tell you how many post-game reaction videos I saw of Packer fans. We spent $55 million on this. What the fuck? We spent $55 million. Look, it's not just LaFleur who's gone on a hot seat with the Green Bay fans. There are a lot of guys who are like looking at Jordan Love and just what you guys are talking about, going, we paid him $55 million, and this is what we're getting. I mean, some people are not like, he didn't have a terrible game, but he did not
standing game.
show, he did not show he's a $55 million quarterback, and this was that year for him to show that you're a $55 million quarterback.
That is literally the one knock I will give him for that game. Other than that, he did everything that he should do to win that game.
I would say he did everything he was allowed to do. Like, I really blame LaFleur a lot for that game. Like, I don't even blame Hafley so much because your defense was on the field so much in the second half. Like, they're gonna gas, man. They're gonna get tired. And the Bears, especially the Bears, have a really good offensive line. Like, and they're sitting there just pounding you. That shit's gonna wear on you, man. Like, you know, like, and the Bears have gotten really good at that, using that offensive line. It's like pardon the analogy, but it's like in a UFC fight when a person, like, they put you on the cage and they put their weight on you and you have to carry their weight for 2 or 3 rounds. Shit's just exhausting, dude.
Well,
like,
plus, if you look at the corners and our DBs, and here we've got a rotation of 4 guys that can just, all of them are starters, right? We have 4 guys who are legit starters, even Zach Ayes with his drop. He's got some speed. He can burn you. You got Burden. You've got Rome was back. You've got DJ who killed them again with a dagger. I mean, and then you got tight ends. You got Colson Loveland. I mean, come on. Did the Bears not make the right pick with him?
That kid's gonna be special, man.
I mean, between him and Kmet, I mean, so they got so many weapons. They're gonna wear a secondary down too. If we're wearing down your D line, your secondary, if your D line is getting smoke, give me a break. What's your secondary look like having to keep up with that rotation?
I just want to ask, like, where do you guys rank Colston Loveland right now? Like, do you think he's top 5 tight end right now?
Well,
right now, no, but maybe next year he would get to there because he's definitely a talent. Yeah,
he's definitely top 10.
I was just having this debate with one of my other Lions fans because he's a Michigan homer. I'm so glad these guys are showing out. Look at this. One guy who I never heard of before called him the top rookie this year. And I was like, wait a minute. I can
over
say
the whole
right
year,
now,
no, because
I said in the last half of the season, he was
Maybe.
a top 5 performing tight end. But over the course of the year, you got to put him in the top 15 at least.
Well, I mean, look at the Bears. Obviously, it's a tougher situation for a Bears rookie offensive player like Colson Loveland this year because why? Well, you got a new coaching regime at the beginning of the year, new offense. It takes a while for everything to gel. Like even at the first half of the year, you guys heard me say, "Why are we got these 2 great tight ends? Why aren't we using them?" And then finally, we started to pass a little bit more of the tight ends. He had the good game against Cincinnati with the game winner, but that was only like his second catch in that game. And then you look at last night, and you're seeing or come the last couple of weeks, and you're seeing how the Bears are finally look at the spread that Caleb has in the game. Everyone gets the ball at least. He spreads it around, and Colston got a lot of balls Saturday, but everyone else still got a lot of looks too. So Colson Loveland, I mean, having that game, could you say he's up there with Laporta? And yes, you definitely can, and you should, because he's a big game player who can do big game things, and he showed it to you in Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah, and like I was saying, like after they drafted him and everything, the reason why, dude, the guy literally runs routes like a wide receiver. He is that freaking agile, and he's also clutch. So, Like, in my opinion, the best 3 tight ends in the entire NFL right now. You know, you could say, you know, he hasn't proven it yet. You know, in any order, top 3, Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, and Kraft on Green Bay are, to me, like, dude, you want 3 stud playmaking tight ends? It's those 3. Then you got McBride and Pitts.
I gotta have
Rock,
that's really it.
Rock
Like,
Bowers
after
is the
that-
best tight end ever.
Whoa.
Oh,
So
you got
you
Bowers
mentioned
too. We'll
5
put Bowers
already.
in there.
You
I
didn't
forgot
get to
about Bowers.
yet?
We'll get Bowers in there. Yeah. But see, Bowers is different because he's
Man,
not really a tight end. That's the thing.
Man, it sounds like Joe needs to say his famous words.
So we'll put
Bro, like-
he's more of an offensive weapon. I don't really consider him a tight end, you know, but for argument's sake, yeah. I mean, we should include Bowers.
Well, I mean, also Brock Bowers is like the only target, but I would agree with, like, Brock Bowers for me is my top 3. I think Colston Loveland's in that top 3 now, and then after that, you know, a healthy Laporta might be in that top 3, or Kraft. Give it to one of those 2 guys. Laporta, it's like he's kind of like somewhat like Stroud, living on past hype a little bit, because the injury thing has happened, and I get that it's kind of unfair in a way and fair in another way. Laporta this season, you had to account for him, but he wasn't the big threat he had been, and a lot of that's because of injury. And so, do I think Laporta comes back next year healthy and good? Yeah, I do. Is this division going to be really good with tight ends if Hawk is healthy in Minnesota? This division has 4 really good tight ends.
Okay. I wanted to say, if you look, when Colston Loveland started to get targeting was when his blocking improved. Because Ben Johnson came from that same mantra that Dan Campbell does. If you don't block, you don't get the rock.
He was blocking all season, though, JB.
Yeah, but,
it wasn't like
but
he wasn't blocking.
I didn't say he wasn't. I'm saying when he got better, he got targeted.
Yeah, he started the year off hurt. But the best blocking tight end on that team is Cole Kmet, and he gets less targets. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Yes, there's something to it, but I think with Colston, it's not. You can't say, well, it's because he's a better blocker is why he's getting the ball more. I mean, he started the year off hurt. He had some injuries. He's a rookie. He has to take time to grow into the system. The system, he has, you know, there's a lot of factors in play, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying it's a part of it. I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's a part of it. But with Colston Loveland, it was a lot of different things. Since Cole Kmet is still probably one of the better blocking tight ends in this league right now.
Yeah, and that's what I was alluding to. Pardon me. When he first got on the field, he was not blocking as well as he was mid-season to late.
Mhm.
Is what I was getting at. And once he started blocking that good, Ben Johnson incorporated him into the game plan more. That's what I was getting at as he started blocking better.
Yeah, I don't know about that,
because
because they were saying he was a better blocker off the jump than Kmet, and everyone was surprised about that. So I don't really buy that one.
And I think the offensive game plan has changed and shifted as the season's gone on. They've grown more into the playbook too. And because you've seen different dynamics come out of this offense, the way it's like, look at the first 4 weeks, there was 0 running game, 0. Then all of a sudden, after the bye week, we're the best running team in the NFL, and the receiving yards are down a little bit. So I mean, that's the thing about this offense this year. It's always been crazy. And look, at Packer fans want to sit there and say, "Oh, the fishing was dude." There were a lot of calls. I'm like, "Oh, the flag's on the ground. It must be against the Bears," and they were a lot of times. I mean, like the instant replay that where LaFleur's red flag didn't have to be red flag. I mean, come on, the Bears fans can gripe about the officiating too, so let's not try to make that an excuse there if you're a Packers fan, because there were calls that I think the Bears should have gotten that they didn't get as well, and that's par for course in any game. And we should know now in this league, and you should know on this show, we never let officiating become an excuse. No, I look at the Bears.
I actually thought that the officials did a good job of kind of letting them play somewhat.
Yeah, there were very.
I thought on both sides, especially in pass coverage, there were both sides were getting a little handsy, and I thought that the refs they did a good job of not throwing a flag every time somebody grabbed a jersey or put their hand in somebody's face. Like I thought they let them play a little bit, and that's what I want. Like I don't want a ticky-tack foul game for the Bears and Packers in the playoffs. I want them to fight. Like I want to see a fucking war, dude. Like it's like if the Raiders ever play the Chiefs in the playoffs, like, bro, just take the refs out of it. Like we just want to fucking go out to the parking lot and brawl, and like whoever fucking wins, dude. You know what I mean?
Vinny, you're killing me. Oh, everyone was against me. If you watch most of the pregame shows, it was pretty evenly split between taking the Bears and the Packers. And oh, by the way, the Packers were the favorite to come into this game by Vegas. So stop giving me all these whiny excuses, man. I mean, I know you're cheer force, but
It's like,
come on.
Hey,
just
Vinny.
take
Hey,
the L,
Vinny.
man. Just take the L and hold it. Like,
Just because you wear a tie, Vinny, doesn't mean we're going to allow you to cry, Vinny.
and you know, like
Love you, but
I think, you know, if we're being fair though, like, and I know injuries are a part of the game, like the Packers had a lot of injuries, and so next year I think the games will, you know, when they're back healthy, and it'll be a, you know, it'll be a much more.
Well, I mean, Zach, their two biggest injuries for me was Zach Tom and,
And Kraft.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, losing
and
Kraft
there's-
was huge for their offense, dude. Like,
And there's
before he got hurt, they were running, that whole offense was running
Yeah.
through Kraft.
I mean, it's funny because I met Zach Tom a few years ago down here before he got drafted. You know, I asked him about, you know, where do you think you go in the draft? Because somewhere between the 3rd and 5th round, which is what he did. And so, how long do you think it'll take you to crack the starting lineup? 2 or 3 years. It takes time to gel and get into the system, which is what happened. And I said, well, hey, what team, if any, his rookie year, he had the spot start submit for injuries. But
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say
somebody every day.
yeah.
and then
we
I asked
shoehorned
him,
in
and then I asked him,
that-
hey, if there's anywhere in the league you don't want to be drafted, where is it? Now you better remember, this is a Louisiana boy. And he looks at me, he doesn't even know what my fan base is at this point. He looks at me and goes, I don't want to go to Green Bay. And then I started chuckling internally. I said, why not Green Bay? He's like, dude, I'm from Louisiana. It's too freaking cold up there. And that's where he ended up going, Green Bay. And look, I always knew this guy was going to be good. I was hoping the Bears would get him. But they missed him. They missed Micah, but Micah got it during the game. Like, he's tweeting out and probably texting to the guys, hey, this team plays 60 minutes. Stay on it. Micah got it. He understood this Bears team yesterday or this week. Unfortunately, maybe some of his teammates like Jonathan Bullard did it, and that's why he's crying like a little bitch in the locker room afterwards.
Yeah. And
Like
I was going to say,
he's a second-year player. Like, you don't see a whole bunch of young players saying a bunch of
Hey,
dumb shit.
cut him a little slack. Besides, you also got to remember it was Javon Bullard. He was the one that got cooked by DJ Moore on that last touchdown. So, you know, you can't blame him for being a little salty, dude. Like, he's salty. He's salty as fuck right now, and I would be too. Like, you just caught, you know, you left DJ Moore wide open for the game winner. Like,
This is why I love Packer fans. Oh, we beat ourselves. The Bears didn't do anything. Okay,
Well,
Steve, all policy up.
Steve doesn't know the policy apparently, and he's also trying to cope right now with his boy Vinny. But I wanted to say something to JB. So the whole no block, no rock thing, that's not a Dan Campbell thing. That's a Ben Johnson thing that I think Dan Campbell may be trying to take the credit for now. But that's a that's something Ben Johnson brought to the line.
JB said that it was a Ben Johnson thing.
Started it before Ben Johnson.
No,
Dan Campbell
he said it was a Dan Campbell thing.
No, but Dan Campbell started that in Miami.
Nope,
when
Ben Johnson
was
started
the
it.
Video coach.
Nope, wrong.
Oh, geez.
Well, you know what?
It don't
really
matter.
doesn't make a
It
difference.
don't matter, guys.
It
Come
don't
on.
make a difference at this
It doesn't
point.
make a difference.
I mean,
They
Dan
whooped ass.
Campbell's living off the Ben Johnson legacy. We'll see if he can do it next year.
Dan obviously showed this year that he needed Ben Johnson as an OC to a degree, because we all knew that Dan Campbell's not a great offensive play designer. He's not the best offensive play caller, but he is a great head coach. You know, he's a throwback coach, and there's a place in this league for coaches like him. You need coaches like Dan Campbell in this league, but he needs to have great coordinators. And when he lost Ben Johnson, boy, did it show this year. You know, but Steve, look, I'm picking on you because it's come on the show, and you know, you say, oh well, you know, the Packers beat themselves. You know, I mean, I see the other part, and I'll give you credit though. You did say some of these other things that were, you know, the Bears won, and you can't deny it. But you can't sit there in the same breath and say, well, but we beat ourselves. Well, either we beat you or we didn't.
Thank you,
Yeah.
JP.
No, I agree. Like,
Guys, in the game of
Packers
football,
voted that
like you have to earn it in the game of football, guys. That's why football's a great sport. I mean, you know, I don't think the Packers went out there saying we're just gonna just give the game to the Bears again. There you go. No, they were trying to win, and the Bears ended up winning.
But at the end of the day, in that first half, Ben Johnson was Dan Campbell. 3 times you guys could have took a field goal and he went for it on 4th down and
Well,
failed.
yeah, and
turned
that's
the ball
fine.
over.
I mean, look at that. Dan Campbell changed the way people look at 4th down. Okay, we knew that. No one's ever not given him credit for that. And then they asked Ben Johnson at the half, "Well, why'd you go for it?" He's like, "Because we need to maximize possessions. Because at the time, Green Bay was basically scoring every drive. So yeah, you maximize possessions and try to get the 7 points because 3 points won't cut it." I got it. I know some Bears fans are like, "Why are we doing?" But Campbell, give him some credit. He changed the way the NFL. In fact, even the broadcasters were talking about giving Campbell credit for that yesterday on the broadcast, because Campbell changed the way coaches in general in the NFL look at 4th down now in the analytics and everything else.
Because it
And you
used to be 4th and 2, you're punting no matter what.
Bro,
And now
4th and
it's
1 and you punt no matter
Yeah.
what, no matter where you were in the field.
But this argument that the Packers beat themselves. Did Jordan Love throw the game winner
Really,
to DJ Moore?
It was really
no,
the
he didn't.
Packers giving it away, the Packers choking.
I mean,
Like,
look,
No, well, what I'm
that's-
saying is, no, I think the Bears hustled them. That's what I think.
I
So
don't
it's the same shit.
understand that.
Neither
thought,
neither
though.
one is true. They
At
both
the end
went
of
out
the
and
day,
played
look,
football.
Caleb still had
So-
to make some Superman-like plays, like
That's
that
what I'm
4th
saying.
and 10 to Rome
Oh, yeah.
in order to complete this victory. So it's not like
You guys went out and executed, and we
I
did
mean,
not. It's as simple as
That's,
that.
that's why you
See,
keep score, and that's why
see-
you have a time limit on the game. Like,
Hey, but
it's
give
what it
Ken
is.
credit. Give Ken
So,
credit for
let's
that
get-
though, because not a lot of Packer fans are actually admitting
Oh,
that. A lot of Packer
Ken,
fans are
No, he's
saying,
in the minority.
Ken,
"Oh, it was
Ken
just
knows I
us,
love
we
him.
choked." Like,
Ken's a great fan and knows
And-
his shit. You know what I mean?
But Ken's in the minority, though, Joe, of what I saw.
I know that's why I
online
said there's a lot of Packer fans that are not willing to admit that they just got beat. Like, you got beat. It happens, man. Like,
It's
you know,
football. You go out there,
It's
you
football,
smash
dude.
each other in the mouth, you
I
fucking
got
punch
to
each
be
other in the
bad now.
face, and whoever wins wins. Like, it's
Okay, so
no one's giving away shit. Yeah, some
away.
teams have a big lead and they blow it, but I could also be like, hey, 25 points in the 4th quarter. Did you really deserve the win? Like, I don't know.
and I even pointed that out. That defense, because of the 3rd quarter going the way it was the 3 and out by the Packers. You guys were extending drives, leaving the defense on the field through the 3rd quarter. In that 4th quarter, the defense is gassed, and it looked like they gave up. That's what it looked like. So it's a combination of, yes, the Bears did win, but yes, the Packers did beat themselves.
Or the
same
Packers got
time.
wore the hell down by the Bears. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not going to say the Packers
once
beat
again, I
themselves,
love
baby.
look at and JB. I'm not trying to rag on you here or
I am.
NFC North in general, but I love how this in general thing. It's like, well, you won, but no, we fucking won. End of story. Oh, but the defense, the Packers defense couldn't stop you in the second because they wore them the hell down, and the defense was
Yeah,
able
and
to
I
stop
gave
them.
credit for that.
There's reasons these things happen. It's because of the way that the Bears played. It's like, oh, but
It's
the
like-
Packers defense just left you wide open. Dude, Caleb still had to make an amazing freaking jaw-dropping throw on a 4th down to save that game.
and
The
there was
Bears
also
No,
there was
that
also
Leo,
like a
I gave
comment.
credit for that.
I
There was also a comment. There was also a comment just a second ago where it's like, well, but how do the Bears wide receivers get that wide open? Like the Packers, they beat themselves. Well, it's like DJ Moore ran a fucking really good route. Like, it's like Halfley didn't call the right coverage for that play. Moore found a fucking hole in the defense, and that's how it happened. So
and there you go, David. That's another thing that the
Yeah.
Bears are a very physical football team. Look at every team in the NFL is physical. It's just to what degree of physical you are. This Bears team is better than average physical football team at wearing people down. You don't get as many comebacks as this team has without being a very physical team that withstands it. Because what we saw in Chicago for many, many years, Broski, and we saw this last year all the time. Why did the Bears fall apart in the 4th quarter? Why did the Bears defense hang tough? And then the 4th quarter, they're not there because they were getting wore down. This Bears team this year is much better physical. Whoever the new physical training coaches staff they had did the strength and conditioning did a phenomenal job with this team because they are a very physical team that plays all 4 quarters from start to finish. And to sit there and hear Packers and Lions and Vikings fans specifically give the Bears discredit over this game because, the Packers gave it to them. No, they wore them the hell down and created
No,
opportunity.
I actually did not. I gave you credit.
No,
for
no, no,
winning.
no, no.
Hey,
JB, you
but
can't give someone credit and then say Green Bay choked. Oh, Bears, we're giving you credit, but Green Bay choked. No, fuck you.
So, I
Hey,
mean, look at
I'll
great.
say,
Both
you know
things
what?
can be
Something that really surprised me about that game, like one of the bigger surprises was like when the Bears scored that final touchdown with DJ Moore, there was like a minute 47 on the clock. And I remember I messaged Ken, the Packer fan. I was like, they left J Love too much time, dude. I
Dude, I
really
the same
thought
thing.
I
dude,
was scared
it-
for a second. I
you
was like,
got-
oh,
you got a
they-
drop from Reed and then a drop from Watson. Either one
Right.
of those could have ended that game. And are you kidding me? At the most crucial time,
Well-
this is when you decide to drop the fucking
Hey,
ball.
but that was one of the things that I was surprised about. Was like, I remember, I was messaging Ken. I was like, dude, they left J Love too much time, dude. And I really thought like that J Love was gonna make a drive down the field. I didn't know if he was gonna score a touchdown, but I figured that they were gonna at least make it close,
So
And then all of a
thought
sudden,
the same thing.
Dobbs dropped. Was it Dobbs? Dobbs dropped one over the middle. Then Watson drops one, and I'm just
And
like, oh
Reed-
man.
Reed
good,
dropped
Steve,
a
you're good.
horrible one that freaking killed us. It would have put us right around the 10-yard line with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Was that the Watson one? The Watson.
The Reed, that
Watson
was the
throw-
Reed one.
the
Watson's
one-
would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, but that one was that was a tough catch. It was just a little too tall for him because he came off barely off his fingertips. But like, I thought the same thing, Joe, when we scored. I'm like, well, we gave him a lot of time. Like, we gave him a lot of time. Let's see what they do with it. And I figured the Bears, on one level, I was kind of worried. At the other level, I wasn't. I'm like, they'll probably bend but not break it. And, they'll maybe let them get down to the red zone and they'll fit her out. And that's kind of what happened. But that one, it was just a little too high. If he had gotten it, I don't know if he got in, but it would have been damn close. It would have been damn close. It would have been within the 10-yard line probably. It would have made it a lot more interesting at the end.
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually go out of my way. I'm gonna give Jordan Love. This is all trash talk aside. I'm gonna give him his due. I think he's an excellent quarterback, and I mean, Packer fan Ken, you remember before the season when it was like you and Nick Green, some other guys asked me who I thought the best quarterback in the division was. I said without hesitation, Jordan Love. Now I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I think him and Caleb are even up. They both have different things they're good at, good things they're bad at, but overall, dude, I'm surprised I'm saying it. I think they're even up, and I think next year we'll see how it works out going forward. But I mean,
Unfortunately, Broski, I gotta agree with everything you said.
Yeah,
literally.
I mean, this division next year is if Minnesota can figure out their quarterback conundrum, they've got a pretty solid football team. The Lions need to figure out their offensive play calling. Good morning, Yoli. Oh, poor Yoli. I'm sorry. For those who don't know, and most do, poor Yoli, her whole family's Bears fans. All her coworkers are Bears fans. If anyone's catching it this morning going to work or from family this weekend, it's Yoli. So Yoli, mad props for you being here this morning, and we've missed you.
I want to ask about.
Her eight brothers are probably giving her all sorts of hell.
I want to ask about what
today.
Like, I know the Rams and the Seahawks are favored, but what do you guys realistically think about the Bears' Super Bowl chances this year?
They've got it.
And not just the Bears
Yeah,
fans, obviously.
I think they have a decent shot. It's Seattle that could possibly be the chink in the armor, I guess, because of how good their defense is. But at the same time, they also have Sam Darnold at cornerback. So we know at some moment Sam Darnold's going to melt down and end up ruining the game. Is it going to be in that game? Maybe. Is it going to be in a Super Bowl? Maybe.
But that's an interesting thing you bring up, Ken, because the Bears, for the first time this season, lost a turnover battle and won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was thinking, I was thinking about this. Like, look, right now we have a 25% chance of making it to the NFC Championship, right?
Right.
Or we'll make it to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
You guys
making it to the Super Bowl. Hold on, baby. So we got a 25% chance. I'm in the middle of a thing, and then you want to talk, and you're mad at me because I said, hold on a second. The 25%
I've been
chance.
waiting for 20 minutes. Forget it. I'll talk to you later.
All right, talk to you later. 25% chance of making it to the Super Bowl, 50% chance of making it to the NFC Championship game. When you look at who's left, right? The Bears have a chance. Can we beat the Niners? Yeah, we can beat the Niners. Can we beat the Rams? Yeah, we can beat the Rams. Can we beat the Packers, John Dorn? Well, we just beat you, so shut the fuck up and sit down, Dorn. The only team that I was like, ooh, the Seahawks are interesting because they do have such a good defense. But once again, you got the number one running defense in the league. You've got one of the higher powered offenses in the league in Chicago. Can you wear that defense down? Yeah, you might be able to wear that defense down. I don't know because I haven't really seen their defense late in games and tough games like that as much. But it's a winnable game. I don't think there's a single team after tonight, the 8 teams that will be left.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any one of them that you can go, oh yeah, they're running away with it.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. And that's been my whole thing. Like, and I didn't get to that point until after the last week. And I'm like, dude, this is so wide open. Every team you can go down the list and they have some big time flaws that can be brought to the surface in both conferences. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now if there's no George Kittle, there's no Teflon Ricky Purcell, I don't think the 49ers are going into Seattle and winning that game. I just don't. They've been proving people wrong all year, but I think it'll catch up to them. That being said, the Bears and Rams, dude, Matt Stafford, let's have a cold game. Their defense has been letting up a ton of points. Like, dude, the Rams are a good team. Don't get me wrong. The Bears can absolutely beat them, though. You know what I mean? And Seahawks, Sam Darnold meltdown. Bears are good at creating takeaways. Sam Darnold is known for having games where he turns it over. They could win that game.
Hey, Dorn, JB decided to leave because I was making a comment, and he tried to cut into that comment, and I said, let me finish my comment, and he got mad. So
I don't think he was too happy with me. He wasn't too happy with me either, but I'm not taking shit today. Like, I'm so tired of Lions and Vikings fans chiming in on shit.
I'm not taking shit from any NFC North fan base.
Yeah,
because we're all on the couch and we're moving on. And Dave, by the way, you don't have to tag me in the comments because I don't look at Facebook enough anyways. I'm seeing you live. You can just throw my first name on there.
I'll say this though. I think the Bears definitely have a chance, but I really you can't keep starting out like you did against the Packers. Eventually that shit's going to catch up to you, especially in the playoffs, man.
No, how you played a confident
last week coming into this game. Like everyone said, the Bears can't start out slow. They have to start out fast. They can't let the Packers get it.
Yeah, but I said you can't keep starting out that way.
3-score lead and came back.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I don't. Eventually, your luck runs out, man, and so I just would like to see the Bears start better. I think the Rams, if they start out that way against the Rams, it's going to be tough, man.
And Joe, I hear what you're saying, but you know what? It was crazy about the game against the Packers. The Bears actually did start pretty well. They had a 15-play, 8-minute drive to start, and all they got was a field goal. It's like if they would have just got a touchdown there, who knows, right?
But I'm talking about being down 21-3 at the half.
I hear you. And
are you going to be able to come back on the Rams 21-3 at the half?
They might, because the Rams defense is actually letting up a ton of points. But what I'm saying is, I understand your point. Believe me, the Bears really need to play better in the first half, dude. I'm not going to argue that. But let's set some realistic goals. Maybe it's like, hey, Bears, your goal should be to score 13 points in the first half and hold the other team to under 20. If they could just do that, I'm like, dude, they're going to win.
God,
if it's 17-10 or 17-13 at halftime, dude, the Bears got it in the second half. I don't care. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy thing, though, when you think about this Bears team, how many teams can you remember if they're down a score or two coming in the half when got them exactly where we want? And we joke about it, we laugh, and they said it on the play call the other week. But to a certain degree, it's what Broski just said, and it's kind of true. This team believes that if they're within any kind of distance, relative distance in the fourth quarter, three scores, yeah, we're still in this, and they believe it. And you know what? Yeah. They every single game, even the ones they lost, they came back, and the ones they lost at the end, like the Green Bay one, they lost on what? The last play. You look at the Lions game, they lost on a walk-off field goal. They think dude, we can come back and beat anyone. And there's something to be said about that mentality, and that's a mentality.
They
That's
have
the
they have
yeah,
belief.
that's the mentality I used to have when we had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
That's
I don't
it's
care
belief.
how far we're down. He's going to go down there and he's going to end up pulling it out somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And
And
this-
who was
this is what I'm
Caleb? Who
saying,
did
like-
Caleb pattern his game after? Who was like his role model or whatever you want to call it
Yeah.
growing up? Aaron Rodgers. Like
I think the Bears have belief, and that's there's something to be said for that.
Hey,
Like a
hey.
team that believes in themselves, like it's like the 2007 New York Giants, right? When they barely made the playoffs, but they, nobody outside of them thought that they were going to win the Super Bowl, but they in that building they just believed, and they kept it going, and they just made plays. I think the Bears are on a kind of they have a similar thing going. But it would be nice to see them start a little better, is all I'm saying. I do expect, I think they'll beat the Rams, especially at home in the cold. Like, Seattle is going to be, if that's the game that we get, Seattle versus the Bears, that's going to be a hell of an NFC championship game, dude.
Steve, I don't think that anyone's saying that we walk on water, and I know Broski and I aren't. But going to your point, Joe, what's going to be interesting for me next week is that San Francisco game. It's a division game, and that's the other thing. The Bears and the Packers, these games are going to be like that, not just because they're both pretty good football teams, but also just because they're in the same division. And so, like, if there's going to be an upset next week, I really look at San Francisco upsetting Seattle's a distinct possibility, more so because I think Seattle's the better football team right now than San Francisco. But because it's the divisional game, it's like all bets are off. And that's how divisional games usually are. I mean, that's going to be an interesting game. In terms of the Bears, it's not that it's like they have that belief. And for me, the biggest piece is Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily even the way he plays on the field. It's the shit he says in press conferences and talk to the team in the locker room. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the even after the game, we still got to get better. We still got to get better. And he talks to the team, and he doesn't do his whole rah, oh my God, we just kicked their ass. He's like, all right, now we got to get back to work. We got to do this. And you hear the teammates respond, yes, sir. I mean, they're it's like they're commanding officers up there giving the victory speech. And they're like, yes, sir. Yes, we need to get better. Yes, sir. We won this, but it's not enough. Yes, sir. We're going to be in the trenches tomorrow. He commands a respect from this football team and this coaching staff, right? And it's that mentality of not resting on the laurels and always working hard. And I get that. And I love his conference, the press conference. And they said, hey, did you hear about the Packers wanting you? And he's like, well, yeah, I kind of heard something about it. And they got it. I love it. Just he could have talked a lot of mad trash. He kind of did, but in a different type of way, right? Well,
I actually love that comment when he said they wanted us because they thought it was an easier path, and they got us. I thought that was like chef's kiss, dude.
I was gonna say that's fucking Aaron Rodgers to a T.
Yeah, like
that.
I mean,
that right there is the one thing that I wish Jordan Love had.
He's got that mentality. That's and that's a championship winner mentality that he has. And and that says a lot about his growth as a professional and as a player. I mean, Rich Eisen called this a couple weeks ago. The NFL's for a world of trouble with this Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams duo for a way to come. And he said it starts in the playoffs, and we're starting to see it. And it's that to me is almost more important than what he's doing on the field. That mentality and that the way he thinks about the game and approaches it is very, very key. And as a Packers fan, I get it, and I agree. I think Jordan Love needs to show more of that. I don't know. I haven't really sat down to dissect season for him.
He gives me everything I want on the field. I worry if he's too nice a guy. And that could be just
the leadership piece of it.
Yeah, that could just be because I'm so used to Aaron Rodgers, who has always been an arrogant asshole.
And I think every great quarterback has a little bit of a dick in them somewhere, dude.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I get like the way Caleb showed the arrogance was low key. You know what I'm saying?
It's still arrogance, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, we're going to talk about this more this week. We're out of time. JB, who's probably frustrated at us this morning, is up next. Go give him a watch in about 30 seconds here. Guys, what a game this week, and we got more to talk about. And we've got some more playoff to play for the Iceman this year. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy your Victory Monday.